balmy shores of sunny Florida to the cold winds of Chicago and everywhere in between, you're watching the Red Wemette Show, live, coast to coast. And now, Chicago's talk of the town, Mr. Red Wemette.
Hello, folks. Today is September 15th, 2025, and I am Red Wemette. Today's subject I picked out. Hi, Christina. If somebody shows up today, I'm going to need you. Thank you. Thank you for coming. God bless you. Dave, how you doing? Today, I picked a subject that some people may not understand, or they may feel that it's too controversial. And maybe this video won't get much view, but it is what it is. I decided to do it. As a matter of fact, I've been talking to Adam, and he made some real major decisions in his life. And a lot of this is motivated, not all of it, but a lot of it is motivated by Charlie Kirk's murder. And not 100%. And Charlie Kirk was a very controversial person. I did watch him several times before, but I binge watched him within the last couple of days. Yesterday, I binge watched him 15 hours. And today it was like maybe 6 or 7 hours. And I remember the reason that I didn't particularly like him. And Charlie was not a bad person. And the first time he got on my radar was when somebody mentioned that he went to Wheeling High School. And I looked it up, and sure enough, he did. But he wasn't exactly someone that I really enjoyed listening to. There were several things that bothered me about him. One of the biggest things that bothered me about him was prove me wrong. I've had two or three people, I don't know where they got the phrase, but I've had 2 or 3 people have different memes that they would send me in the past, over the years, maybe 3 years ago, 5 years ago, back in COVID, and it would say, prove me wrong. And one of them had a lady on it, she had her finger out, she said, prove me wrong. And it seemed like a very violent attitude to have, prove me wrong. Verbally violent, not physically. But mentally, it was one of those things that offended me. I looked at it and said, don't watch it. If you don't like it, don't watch it. And there was probably a reason. It was designed for people that were born in the 2000s, millennials. And it was designed to get their attention and say the things that I'm disgusted with, like Harvard University and major universities with professors that are turning around saying, well, this is the only way. It's our way. It's the left way. Or it's the liberal way. You have to be. Those words, you have to be this. You have to be that. You have to think this. You have to think that. I don't believe in that. If I believed in that, I wouldn't be here today. You have to. No, you don't have to do anything. People listen because they want to listen. And they don't listen because they don't want to listen. William Price. Hi, Red. What a coward to shoot an unarmed man in front of his family. I'm sure his family was watching. And he was a coward. We're going to go into that in a few minutes, Bill. Dominic, just because someone hates what another person is saying doesn't turn what they said into a hate speech. You're right, Dominic. And I didn't hate him. I just didn't agree with him. I mean, I don't know why anybody would really hate him. You didn't have to go to his rallies. You didn't have to listen to him on the radio. Did you folks know he had his own radio show? Charlie had his own radio show. From what I gathered from a little bit of research that I did, after Charlie graduated from, he lived in Prospect Heights, Illinois. But after he graduated from Wheeling High School, he got involved in politics. And a local politician, Republican, he helped to get elected. And because of that, he went on to high school, or a college rather, only stayed 2 years, and he quit. College wasn't for him, but he had an idea. And his idea meshed with a movement in this country, a movement that we all needed, and it's called a change. Not the old change, not the change that Obama promised, but the change that Donald Trump promised. And as a result, I'm going to give you a little something to look at here. Charlie got involved in a lot of things, but here's a photograph of him and his family. They look so happy. He wasn't a bad person. He was a very good person. He had some good ideas. Not all of them I agreed with, but none of them were violent. Probably, I don't know. A lot of people just looked at him and maybe they did what I did. They switched the channel or they watched something else. I don't know. Dominic, I think a lot of people underestimate the reach of Charlie's influence Charlie had in today's political arena. Yeah, I think a lot of people did because I really didn't pay much attention to it. It was a major political shift. Major. 18 to 25-year-olds were sadly Democratic voters. I don't think he changed anybody's mind. According to the experts, he did not change their mind. What he did was he brought out the people that disagreed with him that remained silent because they thought they were in the minority. And all of a sudden they said, my vote is private. I'll go and vote. And they really showed up at his events. And those in itself, the events in themselves, were something that I found very interesting. Very, very interesting. Does anybody know who this man is? Does anybody know who he is? Nobody knows who he is. His name is Foster Weiss. No, it's not George Soros. His name is Foster. Wait a second. Yes, he supported. I'll tell you what happened. This is the story, guys. He was out in, he's from the Chicagoland area, and he was out in Wyoming, and he ran against somebody from out in Wyoming for governor. He lost. But not because of any of the other guy was juiced in, so to speak. But at any rate, what he did was he started donating to different people. And according to what I just dug up, Charlie called him on the phone. He didn't go out there. He called him. And he got an audience with him. And he told him, if you can get together 100 people that are youths, I will support you. And I will support your movement. He did. Charlie went to Northwestern University, which is a liberal school, and he needed 100 people. He was scared to death. Only 12 or 15 people showed up in the beginning. By the time he was done, he had 147 people. And after the event was over, he went to this man. This man wrote him a ticket, a check for $1.2 million. And that was to start him off. And that's what he told him. This is just to start you. And he did start him. And his ideas were very good at the time. I loved them when I listened to him. I didn't like all of his personal opinions. I just didn't. And probably one of the things that I didn't like more than anything was the fact that you can't lose an argument with Charlie, because Charlie was an excellent debater. Excellent. It didn't matter whether he was right or wrong in the debate. He always won. He used to tell people, you're right. You're absolutely right. I disagree with you, though. He was a good debater. Very good debater. Excellent debater. And a marvelous man. And he didn't need to be. Nobody. And people that are watching me here that know something about me, people that have read my book or whatever, they know that I feel very strongly about this. Nobody needs to be murdered. And especially just for their ideas. They're not hurting you. They're not hurting you in any way. I don't think people should be murdered over money, much less opinion. And his opinions were very strong. Some of the things I just disagree with him on. One of them is abortion. I believe in the morning pill after. I believe that a woman has the right to choose. I believe in a lot of things that he said no. And I don't believe in his ideology of religion. Religion is a personal thing. When you get public like I am right now, you're taking a chance. People may not like you just because they don't believe in what you believe in. The Bible was written by man. It wasn't written by God. And every time I bring that up to somebody, they talk about it and they say, oh, well, God inspired it. Okay, God inspired it. God inspired me to do a lot of things too. But he didn't live my life for me. So that fallback just doesn't work with me. And I've been working for decades on the beginning of the Bible, when Adam and Eve had Cain, Abel, and Seth. 3 sons. And I've been asking wise people for many, many decades, how did the boys have children? Because there's no women named. Nobody can answer that. And what I say is the Bible is not always accurate. It just isn't accurate. But Charlie believed that every word was accurate. And he would debate that very strongly. Hi, Scott. How you doing? They made a martyr out of Charlie. Yeah, they did. They certainly did. The thing that bothers me about that so much, Scott, is that they made a martyr out of him, but it's like, I don't know how to describe this. This is a kid that killed him, Tyler Robinson. But Charlie, they made a martyr out of him, and I've heard a lot of people say this, and it's really true. It's there'll be 50, 100 of him pop up now that he's gone. They'll carry on his work. And the only thing I could say to that is I hope they do a good job. Because I remember, I'm old. I remember when Martin Luther King was murdered in Memphis. And an arm's length away, there was a man called Jesse Jackson. And he went on the radio, TV, later on, to tell people that Martin Luther King had chosen him to carry on his work. It didn't happen that way. It didn't happen that way at all. And a lot of people didn't buy it. So he opened Operation Push. People united to save humanity. It was a lot of baloney. It was a lot of racism. It was bad, very bad. But that's the way it was. Bill Crowley. Okay, let me give you some facts, Bill. That kid is screwed up. They say he's going through a sex change. Let me give you some facts. That's not accurate. It's not accurate at all. I really looked into this very, very closely. This is Tyler Young. This is Tyler Young, a Mormon. Yes, he's a Mormon. This is Tyler Young arrested. Tyler Young is not going through a sex change. The fact is, I believe, I'm just guessing, I really don't know. I believe he's gay. He was living with a young man about his own age. That was, Cash Patel said that he was, the young man that he was living with, they shared an apartment, was going through a reassignment, that he was a transgender person, male transcending to a female. But he wasn't all the way there yet. And when that's, you got it. You got it. You got it, Scott. Well, that's what the FBI said, Goff. FBI has a different story than you do. His boyfriend thinks he's a female. No, he thinks he wants to be a female. And that is my point right there. That would make Tyler a gay man. Yes. Is that the end of the world? The end of the world is when that gay man decided to shoot somebody. That was bad. I could care less who he was, or really, in that sense. But his boyfriend, if you want to call him that, is Bill, that depends on which news report you're listening to and who's making it. I listened to a news announcement by Kash Patel, our director. Quite a guy. But, you're entitled to your opinion. If that's your opinion, the news report that you saw, I would look a little further. Look for the words that came out of Kash Patel's mouth. He was the agent that was there. And there are so many people like the New York Times and other people. There are several violent trans cults in the nation now. I can't even say that. Zizians. They're all dangerous, and they've already killed others. I didn't know that, Scott. That's very informative. Thank you. I do know this. So am I, Bill. I've seen the news, even about me, they've been wrong. And I can only say that from experience. Adam just sent me this. Can any of you read it? Can any of you read that to me? It says Charlie Kirk's assassin say belonged to a cult, a group of people. And this is something that somebody just posted. It's not true. After he shot and killed Charlie Kirk, Scott, read what I have up on the screen, Scott. Please, because it's not true. I hate to think that half of my viewers are really just people that are full of hate and venom. I don't like to think that at all. Like somebody that made a comment on my video, the last video I did, and it said, "Hi, Red," and it had the symbol of a rat there. Why? Why take the time to do that? I don't know. But anyway, I thought this was interesting. I have to get up pretty close to see it. Charlie Kirk assassinated by far left terror cell. That is the latest theory. Multiple connections, pro-trans amounts of claim that he was a part of them. He doesn't claim them. They claim him. I don't doubt it. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about something else. Serge, I never said it wasn't real. I said it wasn't pertinent to this particular case. It's not pertinent to this case. After Charlie was murdered by this young man, Tyler Young, what happened was He climbed down off the roof rather hurriedly, ran, ditched the weapon, got in his car. And I don't know if you folks know how far Orem, Utah is from St. George. St. George is down by the border. It's by Arizona. St. George is, if you want to get to St. George, you fly into Las Vegas because it's closer. Salt Lake City is way up there higher. It's a big state. But he got into his car in Orem and drove 4.5 hours. And he didn't go to the apartment that he hadn't been in 3 days where his friend lived. He went to his parents' house. A scared kid. He realized he did something stupid, very stupid. He murdered somebody. And he told his father about it. His father recognized him. And he cried. And he was afraid. For good reason. His father called a youth minister. They're Mormons. And LDS people are very tight in a lot of different ways. But they had a connection to a deputy federal marshal. And his father surrendered him to the marshal, who in turn surrendered him over to local police. No, he's not cooperating. He already told his father what he did. But he doesn't have to testify against himself. I'm sure he's scared. There's no doubt in my mind. And an old saying of mine is, a coward dies 1,000 times, a brave man dies just once. But he's going to die more than 1,000 times. He's locked up in Utah County Jail right now. And he's all alone. He's not going to be with other prisoners. They're not going to put anybody near him, especially before the trial. They're not going to let anybody near him. That's what I say. That's what I say. Why? I don't know. I have no idea. You're right, Scott. He should be scared. He's got a lot of people angry at him. Can you imagine if they put him in population? How many people would like to stand up and say they're the guy that killed or murdered or killed Charlie Kirk's murderer? They've already maybe they're in there on appeal or something like that. They're in there for a murder in the county jail, but they would step up and say they murdered him. So they have to protect him. He's in PC, isolation, talking to nobody. That's it. Even some of his privileges are not there for him because he's in PC. Do you think they're making special arrangements for him? No. I don't expect his trial to go off for at least a year. Almost every murder that I've known about, it didn't go off for a year. Trial didn't take place till at least a year after the arrest. Gaff, you may be right. I don't think he lasts 3 days. I think it'd be less than 3 days. You're right. He would not last in general population. And Scott, you're right too. Even the guards could be angry. He appealed to conservatives everywhere, and law enforcement is conservative. Yes, they are. They have to be. So anyway, while he's in there, his father requested that he be on suicide watch. His father voluntarily gave up the fact that he told him that he wanted to kill himself, that he couldn't face this. And the father's the one that kept him alive. And I have to be grateful to his family. They're going through a lot, and they didn't do anything. They have to be hurting, though. This kid's putting a lot of people through hell, which is bad. But when he goes to trial, Here's the evidence that I know they have, that Patel says they have. Cash Patel. He says they have a screwdriver that they found on the roof with Charlie's fingerprints on it. They have DNA that the rifle was wrapped up to it when they located the rifle that has Charlie's DNA on it. I don't want to judge him before a trial. He deserves a fair trial, but I really think that he'll be convicted. And nobody's going to take him out back. Yes, Tyler, not Charlie. You're right. Thank you, Scott. I'm getting emotional. I shouldn't do that. I'm talking about Tyler. Sorry. I said Charlie. I meant Tyler. Folks, I'm a little bit upset doing this today. It's probably not very popular to even talk about this child. Tyler Robertson is okay. Okay. Thank you, buddy. I don't know if he's okay, but he's okay now. At any rate, when he finally does go to trial, when that does happen, it'll be better than a year from now. And I think he'll be found guilty. And I believe in the death penalty. He took a life. I think he should give his life. Or somebody should take it. And I also believe it may not happen the way I believe. I'm getting off on a tangent like Charlie Kirk. These are my own personal opinions. That it should be taken the same way he took somebody else's life. Unknowingly, with a gunshot wound that kills him. But it's not going to happen that way. Appeal after appeal after appeal. And 2030 something, or maybe 2040, Tyler Robinson will be executed. And that will be the end of that. He will go down in history. And like I said earlier, I'm concerned about the people that will carry on in the wake of his death. I just wonder in my mind if they're really going to carry on the same things that Charlie Kirk believed in. Or will they be another Jesse Jackson who said he was carrying on Martin Luther King's work? That didn't last very long. Martin Luther King said, I have a dream where my children will play with other people's children. We'll all walk as brothers hand in hand. That word all never happened. It just never happened. And there's a lot of things that I'm sure will never happen. That's just the way it is. Did you read that, Goff? He also confessed on Discord. The FBI has it. Did you read it? That's a rhetorical question. You didn't read it. You know why you didn't read it? Because it's not available to read. And what was said was a text message. And it said, he's in my sights. I'm going to take him out. And that was said like a week, 2 weeks before he even got there to Utah. You read his boyfriend has stopped cooperating. I don't know where you read these things, Maz Diggs. I don't know where you read these things. Our deputy director, Dan, I'm trying to think his last name, Dan, I keep mispronouncing it. Van Jovi, our deputy director, said that He didn't say his boyfriend. He said his roommate is cooperating. And that was today. Now, maybe things have changed. I don't know. But he cooperated from day one. And I can tell you why, Maz Diggs. I can tell you right why. They probably told him, if you don't cooperate, you're going to be charged as an accessory. And I'm sure that influenced his opinion and said, wait a second. I didn't plan this thing. I ain't going to jail. Thanks, buddy. X-Cop, hit that like button. I don't think this one's going to go around too well. A lot of people dislike me because I was an FBI informant for over a decade. Actually, 20 years, over 20 years. Chevy 11. These kids are all messed up. Their heads are listening to extremists, lying media. I think a lot of it's in the colleges. I really do. They don't get disciplined by parents. I agree with that. They just dumb stuff. I don't think Tyler, I don't think he understood when he actually pulled that trigger. And he actually had somebody in sights and killed him. I don't think he understood it. But I'll bet his heart raced as he was running across that roof. And when he finally did drive in the car all by himself for that long drive, I'm sure he was thinking. How many of you people that are watching this remember, if you did, kill a living thing when you were young, when you're 22, 21, whatever? I'll share my first experience with you. I killed a parakeet. I shot it with a BB gun, never thinking of the consequences. I remember dripping blood, hanging on a wire with his feet until it turned upside down and fell to the ground. Then my heart started to go pat. And I said, what did I do? I put the BB gun up. My parents didn't say anything. I don't think they knew about it. But I realized that I killed something, and I was only 12 years old. I felt bad. Scott H. When you're about 15, it still haunts you today and you feel guilty. I'm sure you do. I'm sure you do, Scott. When it happens, it happens. And it's painful. In my particular case, when I was 17 years old, I was taught how to kill. By the time I was 18 years old, I was in Vietnam. And it became second nature to me. I saw a lot of it. But this kid didn't go through any of that. So I believe, and I might be wrong, that on that drive home to his parents' house in the same town where he had an apartment, where he hadn't been for 3 days, 2 days before the event, he didn't go there. He didn't go to his apartment. He went to his parents'. And then his father announced that he recognized him from the pictures. And he said, yeah, that was me. I did it. And he started to cry. He was a scared kid that is going to grow a few more years. And maybe he'll get over his fears by the time they execute him. He's responsible for a death. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending how you look at it, he's affected many people. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people are affected by his actions and what he did. I don't know how that's going to play out. I really don't. To Erica and his children, I'm saddened. I don't know what they're going to go through. They wanted a normal life. But Charlie wasn't exactly what you call a normal father. He was out there in your face. And when you're out there in somebody's face, you always run the risk that there's going to be some nut that's going to come along and pop you, murder you, kill you, shoot you. Happens. I played with fire, and I ran the risk of, but I knew what I was doing. I knew I was dealing with murderers, people that had murdered before. So it's not the same thing. But angering people, young people, that's not good. Yes, he was no coward. He did know the risks. He talked about the risks. And even sadly, he said, this may happen to me. And it did happen to him. But you know what could have prevented it? I'm going to show you folks. I'm going to show you folks something. This is what you're looking at. This is a drone. This drone flies in the air. It's made for surveillance. Anywhere from 13 to 40 hours, it can stay up in the air. You see the big camera on the bottom? You can remote control that from the ground. You can make it go in circles all the way around, whatever. If that had been flying in the air, they would have known somebody was on the roof. And even if there wasn't somebody to get them to get over there right away on the roof, that drone could have flown right above the guy, Tyler, right above him, and zoomed in on his face and actually come down maybe 20 feet above his head. And I'm sure that would have made him get up and leave. I don't think he'd have fired a shot at the drone. If he did, it would have been a wasted shot because they would have killed him. Somebody would have killed him. That drone could have saved his life. Charlie was generating for himself over $150,000 a month. And that drone wouldn't have cost 20% of what he was making. But he didn't have the right security around him. It just didn't help him. Would have been nice if it did. You have to have an FAA approval. Yeah, you do. And you know something? You have to have a license to be a private detective too. So you can hire the people to do it. I didn't expect Charlie to operate himself. No, I'm not selling drones. It's disturbing the amount of people on X that said this was going to happen. I don't know. I never said it was going to happen. I said I wasn't surprised when it did. It didn't shock me. He was challenging people constantly. That's right. Security firms do operate them and have them available. You just have to be with, I don't know, Blackwater, somebody else. There's a lot of people that have them. It's high technology, and it's the latest thing. I believe in it. When you're looking at something from above, it's not like a plane flying over a helicopter. Very similar to a helicopter, but it's there all the time. On X, there were people saying that a big thing was going to happen to Charlie the day before. Okay. I wasn't watching it. I don't follow X. And I also believe, very much so. Here's an answer from you for Scott. A security company with the Part 107 license can get approval with no problem. Yeah, I can get approval with no problem. Heck, back when I was with Beaton Services in Chicago, I got my in Chicago, I got my concealed weapons permit. I was a licensed private detective in the state of Illinois. He went to a campus to give kids information on the schools so they can think. He was a future presidential candidate. He was definitely a target. I agree. Mass Diggs, thanks you, Scott, for the education. Scott, you're in Florida here by me, and you're a drone pilot. You researched it. I did too. The college campus where it allows concealed carry wouldn't have been an issue there. No, it would have been. Concealed carry is not going to stop a sniper from 200 yards away. It's not going to work. I'm sorry. It's just not going to work. Scott, I was going to buy one, and I can really fly it here. I borrowed one, and there's no problem with flying it. But I found if I wanted to use it on YouTube, to show different things, that I needed the license. In order to get the license, I got to go to the FAA, and I looked it up. There's an application, there's a fee, there's a small course, there's a small test, but you have to go in for it. And there's nothing around where I live in Panama City Beach. Nothing here. So I think it was, I forget exactly where it was, but it was a good 60, 80 miles away that I had to drive just for the test. So it didn't work for me. Scott, I'm very much aware of that. And I looked it up last night. And the truth of the matter is, on September 25th, you can open carry in the state of Florida. They just warned us not to go into a courthouse, a schoolyard, any public properties that belong to the state or school properties, or any place that's marked where it says no firearms with a firearm. That's on the 25th of September that it went into effect. Check it out, buddy. Mass Diggs. What's alarming is the kids filming him on the roof in a prone position and not notifying anybody. I don't think kids did that. Those were surveillance cameras. That's right. You didn't get the license either. There's a lot of restrictions, and the real thing to do is know what the law is. That's what you need to do. But I honestly believe if there was drones involved in their security, that this whole thing could have been avoided. At least there wouldn't have been as much of a chance of it happening. I listened to one interview on a private channel, and nice guy. And he said, "Oh, I went back to put my my firearm in my vehicle and leave it there because he wanted to go and listen to Charlie." And he said he loved Charlie. Charlie was a great man. And he said he was surprised that to get in there were no security checkpoints, nobody checking for firearms, no what do they call that that you walk through, metal detectors. Nothing like that was set up. Nothing roping people off. People could just herd in from everywhere. So I would say the security was real lax. But while he was saying he left his firearm in the car, I knocked my head to the right because I was thinking about it and saying, what difference would it made if you had your Glock with you? This guy is 200 yards away laying flat on a roof. What's your chances of hitting him? 0. I don't know about you, Mass Diggs. I've been shooting a long time. I really learned to shoot in the Marine Corps, but I've shot a lot since. And the truth of the matter is, I can shoot pretty darn good. Even the police where I live say I shoot better than them. I've been doing it for a long time. I'm 76 years old. But I can tell you this. A handgun wouldn't have saved his life. Some people around me say, when your number's up, it's up. You are born with an expiration date. I don't believe that. I believe that they believe it. But they have a right to believe whatever they want to believe. We all do. Chevy 11. There's a video out there showing him walking with a limp. Pretty sure he had the rifle. Yes, it was down his pant leg and underneath his arm at that time. You're right, Chevy. It was. That's a fact. Now, when he jumped off the roof, he didn't have it down his leg. He had it with his backpack, and you could see him jump with it. And he ran with the package underneath his arm. And when he crossed over into the wooded area, he kept his backpack and left his Mauser with a scope, bolt action. It looks like he had 4 rounds in it, full magazine. He was an avid deer hunter with his father and other people. He was also an avid elk hunter, a good hunter. So he was used to killing. He knew how to do it. I think, matter of fact, I'm almost positive this was the first time that he actually killed a human being or shot at one. Yes, Mazdiggs, I mentioned that earlier. The DNA is also on the towel that was wrapping up the rifle. The rifle's still in the hands of the ATF right now, and they're doing it. Scott, they say it was a 200-yard Scott, which is not difficult. No, it's not at all. I can do that open sight, 200 yards, and I can hit a cantaloupe with no problem. No problem. With a scope like he had on there, I'm sure once the crosshairs were on at 200 yards, that rifle's capable of going up to 600, maybe 7. 5 with no problem, especially in the prone position. Laying down, taking aim, easy. Easy to do. Did he shake? Did he shake at the last minute? Did he pull? He only fired one shot. And he didn't eject any of the other rounds until he got over at the excuse me here, guys. I'm sure Marines like who can shoot further than that. Yeah, I was good for maybe 600 yards or meters. A meter is 3 inches, 3.3 inches longer than a yard. But I was good for at least 600. 500, you had to qualify. And I qualified with an M14, which was a 7.62. I liked it. The M16s were not as comfortable. Audrey is red. You clearly see him with no long gun before getting down. Maybe that's what you see. I don't. More players? No. I'm sorry. There are no more players as of yet. If they find them, there's an investigation going on. I'll be happy if they find more players because I want them to get all the facts right. I really want them to know everything. And then we really won't know everything until the trial. At the trial, all the truth will come out. The prosecutors are going to bring everything out there, but we really don't know that, Audrey. I didn't see him with no gun. Maybe you did. You see him different. More players? No. No, I don't believe this is conspiracy at all. Maz Diggs. You don't know about Marines. I'm sure you don't. I would imagine it would be more difficult in the Army. The Army? 300%. Are you crazy? You're imagining. You don't know. It's 10 times tougher in the Corps, buddy. We had to start out at 200 in the offhand position. You know what the offhand position is, don't you? Then we have to go 300 yards in the kneeling position. Then we went 500 yards in the prone position. And if you want to qualify for something else, if you shot expert, not marksman, not sharpshooter, but expert, then you could go for the longer shots, 600, 700 meters. It was definitely more difficult in the Marines. I think maybe you had that backwards, guy. The Army, if you could shoot and hit the target, bang, that's it. Next. That's all I cared about. You're going to get more, but you're not going to get all of it. You'll get more information tomorrow, but you're not going to get all of it. Really. That's the way it is. I missed what I missed today, but it's okay. What did I miss, man, Stiggs? I don't think I missed anything. Anyway, folks, I want to thank you. Thank you for stopping by. And this is not my usual stories about the outfit, but I can tell you, I'm no stranger to death. I've been around it a lot. This one saddens me. I never knew the guy. Never went to his events. I didn't watch him on YouTube. But from all the play he's getting on YouTube and the news and everything else, it's a sad thing because I started to take a look at him. And even though I didn't agree with everything he said, he didn't deserve to be shot down like a dog, like an animal, because somebody didn't agree with what he said. When you don't agree with somebody, you go the other direction. You leave. There was somebody in here earlier that I told them, or they told me something, and I didn't particularly like it. I put them in timeout. That's it. I didn't address their comment. Just put it in timeout, and that's the way it goes. So until we meet again, folks, I want y'all to have a wonderful week. I'll probably see you this week. I hope I do with Adam. Adam and I are supposed to be doing a new format. So thank you, and God bless you. And thank you for stopping by. It's Red Wemette out.
The combination of the videotapes and Wemette's testimony resulted in the conviction of 2 men on extortion charges. One of them was Frank Schweiz, known in syndicate circles as the German, a feared mob terrorist and a suspect in a number of gangland murders.
He was described to me by other outfit individuals as the most feared hitman. And as he said to me, my reputation precedes me, son.